was like, I can't tell if you're drinking like a smoothie or like chocolate milk because you're blue.
I know Zoom has a filter on my computer for my camera for some reason. I don't have it on though. Um, oh, let me start this. Welcome back to the Right Amount of Unhinged, a podcast where a couple best friends talk about whatever we want. Sorry, I forgot our intro. I'm drinking Naked Juice's Blue Machine, which is just
Okay.
yeah. So it's purple in real life, but everything just looks muted and blue on my
You straight up woke
camera.
up today and you said all Eiffel 65. That's it. All blue, everything.
Yeah. So we had a topic per my notes, but we're not gonna do that.
We're not going to discuss that.
We're apparently discussing therapy.
We love therapy. Therapy's great.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
No, I have been a huge proponent of therapy for like over a decade.
For years.
Like literally over a decade at this point.
I just thought like right now I thought like right now. Like you're like
no,
sarcastic.
we love therapy.
Okay.
We love therapy. Therapy is why I'm on drugs, and they're good drugs. They're not like crack cocaine. They're like real doctor prescribed drugs that make me able to go to the grocery store by myself at 7 a.m. So, we love therapy.
Right. Yeah. Therapy has caused me to actually went out by myself today because apparently I'm also getting like very homebody to the point where it's just like not healthy anymore for me. So my therapist has been this new one because this is my third one now within the last how many years I've been going to therapy, and she's just like kudos to her because she's like, you need to get out of the house.
You need to get out of the house.
You didn't get out of the house. Like, you think this is fine, but it's not. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm also an advocate for therapy, though it took me a while to go, but that's a different story.
It takes everybody. It's a different journey for everybody. Some people are able to go when they're younger and kind of have that through their lives. Some people can't encroach that until they're, into adulthood. Fuck, my mother went to therapy when she turned like 50. She went to therapy. So like everybody has a different journey. Everybody has a different, like, there's no like time frame that needs to apply or like when you need to do it. You just do it when it's right.
Also, everyone just needs to go to therapy.
Everyone needs to go to therapy. If you are listening to this, you are not excluded. You need therapy. There is something that you need to work out. There are things you are or are not aware of. You need to go to therapy. So just go to therapy.
And it's like so easy now. I feel like there's like, especially like teletherapy, like you don't have to go anywhere. Like you can just like log onto your computer or your phone and just like talk to someone for an hour, or 45 minutes, whatever. I don't know. Therapy, I know a handful of people's parents now in therapy. I'm like, wow. if parents went to therapy in their younger years, we wouldn't
be so well adjusted. Yeah.
Therapy
wouldn't be this like necessary thing.
Right. We'd be so like, or like it's just like a maintaining thing, maintaining your sanity, like semblance of sanity. Also COVID fucked up like everyone. So like everyone should be in therapy right now. Like everyone should be in therapy because I like have no memory. So I don't know if I just said this while we were recording or before we were recording. But literally like, and it's been what, 7 minutes of like just on Zoom. I don't remember.
I don't even think it's that long.
What? Yeah.
I don't even think it's been that long.
But yeah, I went out today because my therapist was like, you need to get the fuck out of the house. She was like, your homework for the week is to like go to the coffee shop that you go to and just sit there. And I did this morning.
Okay, good for you.
I did this morning because I had a day off today. I don't have therapy today. So I had it Monday. So now I'm like a week and a half. I don't have therapy, which throws me off a bit, but we're working on it.
We like routine. We like schedule. We like consistency.
I'm like type A. I'm an accountant. Like I need like that's she was like, okay, break that and put something in the middle and go out. I was like, all right, I guess. I did feel better. Like,
meanwhile, I told my girl I'm like borderline agoraphobic, and like if not for the like support structure that I have around me that wants to like leave the house and do things, and like the fact that I need to like go to the store and buy stuff, and I have like a crippling shopping addiction, I would just simply not leave my home. She was like, well, at least you leave your home, so like that's fine.
Yeah, you're lucky that like
She
people
was
around
like,
you are like, get the fuck out of the
yeah.
house.
Yep, if y'all did not make me leave, I would not leave. If people were not like, you're doing this thing, I'd be like, that's fine. I'll stay home for just days on end. That's okay.
I know, and I haven't like scheduled something with you in a while, and I'm like, I need to get her out of the house. So we should schedule something after
I
this.
go grocery shopping now. I'm all housewifey and I like go to the store by myself. I am violently codependent. So like that's more of a problem to me than the
Well, that's an
agoraphobia.
issue. Well,
I
that's
could
the
I have no
issue.
problem being agoraphobic. I'm like, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone in my house. That's fine. But the codependency is like most definitely a problem. And I'm like, well, it is what it is.
I I mean, it doesn't have to be what it is, but that's that's therapy.
That's therapy,
That's
y'all.
therapy. No, we should schedule something because we haven't seen each other in I don't even know how long.
Dude,
Like in person.
Asteroid City. Literally
Yeah, when
Asteroid
was
City.
that? Like
Dude, I don't know. It's on streaming now. So I'm like, oh, it's probably been a while. We should probably go to like Mitsua.
not to I'm going today by myself. I'm hanging out today with myself.
I love that. Good for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, because
I'm
like
violently jealous, but like good for you.
yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I haven't been to Minnesota in like forever, and like again, I have this thing where I like again, this might be just my Filipino background, but like doing stuff by myself, I feel guilty because like
Fair.
it like because I'm just like,
Mhm.
well, if no one's
These
with
people would
me,
enjoy going with you. Like,
right, and like we don't ever go, but I'm going
yeah.
by myself, so I feel
Yeah.
guilty. But I mean, like if I wait for everyone, I'm gonna be waiting forever. So
Yep.
like,
Yep.
I
Good
don't,
for you.
I don't like. Well, that's therapy for you. It's working right now because I got out of the house. I was like, oh, I miss doing this by myself because I go to the movies by myself. I do that every so
Yeah.
often, but like, I don't know. It's also because of him. Where is he? I don't know. I
Where's
guess
oh look at him. Oh, he heard me. Beautiful baby.
that I've made him an excuse, and I've told that to my therapist. I was like, I don't want to make him an excuse, but he is an excuse for me to stay home. And she's like, he'll be fine. I'm like, no, I know he'll be fine.
I understand
But
that objectively, but it doesn't matter.
right, like if he liked the car, like that's a whole different story. Like I'm bringing him
Yep.
everywhere. But he doesn't. So, but again, before him, I'd be no problem. Like I would still feel guilty, but I'd just be at Mitsuo randomly, just because I can, or like at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
But now it's like I have to like revert back to that. I'm like, I didn't even know it got to this point, and that's why
Yeah.
therapy exists. Every 5 minutes,
Dude,
I'm like,
it
this is why
creeps
you go
up
to
on you.
therapy.
All of a sudden, you can't do anything by yourself anymore, and you just stay home, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, I'm
wow.
like, this is why the people that I work with work from home because we're all just used to it. And I'm like, oh, this isn't healthy. It's so bad. Um, but yeah, I should be going after this. If I just the act of just like stepping out of my
Yeah.
house is like
Yeah.
that is right now is like, okay, like I could stay home and like do other things at home, but I already did this morning, which is
Yeah.
why this is why I'm taking like Fridays off because I'm like, all right, let me get everything done. And now I don't have an excuse not to leave the house.
I love that. You gotta just, when we end, you gotta just get up and go.
Yeah, and like no thought in my
Yeah.
head.
Yep.
But the other problem is like I shouldn't be spending money right now. Like I
Yeah, but you
shouldn't.
don't need to like go buy stuff. You could just like
Oh, but
go eat
I
and like look around.
but I also chronically just spend money.
Well, sure. Hi.
Yeah, like so we both just enable each other, so it doesn't like work in our favors.
I went and
Um,
spent like $400 at Costco this morning. Like,
yeah, Costco is dangerous. I haven't been in like months because I'm like I'm not ready to drop $300 for no reason right now.
they have the holiday Disney stuff, the Halloween and the Christmas, and I bought them.
Okay,
They're really cute, and I really am not sorry.
okay.
So like things happened. And I also bought this giant thing of croissants for like $5, and I was like, I love croissants, and I bought them.
Their croissants are good. Just plain croissants.
Yeah, dude, they were
Yeah,
really good. I love a
they're pretty
croissant.
good.
Love
Um,
that. I
thank.
also bought three 72 count boxes of coffee because they had
But
different
you,
flavors, and I was like, yeah.
I was like, but you like go through that like nothing. I like don't. So yeah, that would last me like 5 years. No.
Months
Um,
at best.
yeah, no. I
I
mean
don't even think
that's
it's gonna last months. I say that I would
no,
be
you're
shocked if this lasts months.
like a couple of months.
I like want to write down that I bought how much coffee I bought today and like see how much I still have.
Yeah, and just yeah, you should just so
I don't
you
know that
know
I want to
how.
face that
I
though.
was like, just so you know how much caffeine you input like into your body.
So like that's not a reliable test because I also make I make cold brew almost
Yeah,
daily, and then I have the Stoke or whatever pumpkin cold brew because it's like
yeah.
that's really good. I
Hmm.
also have all those, and then I also we have the like drink thing from Panera because
Yeah,
I'm like violently
an
addicted to the
addict.
manic episode in the cup.
Because
And so I drink those, and they
you're
have
an
a lot of sugar
addict.
and caffeine. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So that is not a reliable test, and I don't know that anyone should ever look at on paper the quantity of caffeine I consume just on a daily basis.
I mean, it keeps your brain functioning. So I like,
It keeps me from having like manic or depressive episodes. So like that's great. It's also I need it for my brain because of the scars.
that's what I'm saying. It keeps your brain
The
functioning.
caffeine like
Yeah, it just like
makes the blood vessels move. So
you're
like
like
I drink caffeine like someone drinks, like juice.
water. Yeah,
No, because I drink a lot of water too.
you
I'm like
do.
very good about that.
You do. Um,
Therapy.
therapy. There are different types of therapy. I don't know where this conversation is going, but I just do talk therapy. I know there's like different like like exercise and like other therapies. Though I did exercise during therapy once. And
That's
my
crazy. You said that the one day, and I was like, all
um
right,
it was
like,
weird because she was like, I know this is weird. I won't be looking at you. Don't worry. I'm like, all right, great. But it was just like to tense my muscles and then release it so that the tension would like leave
okay,
in like different spots. And I was like, okay,
uh-huh,
this actually did help, which was fine. But I was like,
sure,
she's like, we're not doing that again. Don't worry. Like, this is just for your
no,
own. Because also that one time I didn't know what to talk about during therapy, I was like, I have no idea. Like, I don't need this right now, but like, I know I need it, just
yeah,
when
yeah,
to go. So she's like, all right, well, we'll just do this. I was like, all right, I guess.
all right, I guess.
But I don't do that. I'm just like, just give me a 45-minute like talking space and I can do that. But other people need like, I know there's like horse, like animal therapy, like I
Yeah, like,
specifically horses.
yeah, equine therapy is a big one.
I don't know if I can subscribe to that
Um,
as a person.
like, no, I have so much anxiety that like I'm just gonna make the horse nervous. Like I'm just gonna make the horse so uncomfortable the whole time. Like that's so mean to already make a very large, anxious animal to like deal with my anxiety. Like I have two dogs that I've ruined. Like that's fine.
Seriously.
Don't
It
make me
just
do it to a horse.
it just transfers over to the horse or wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's fine.
Also, sorry. So this is also why I need therapy. A lot of millennials don't like talking on the phone unless it's like for
No.
work. Like if I'm clocked in,
Yeah.
I'm clocked in
Even
just because
then.
like yeah, even then it would like last minute if someone else can take the phone call for me, I will. Like but it takes like a while for me to muster up like okay, like I need to schedule the call, which helps because I don't want to like cold call people. I hate that shit.
Oh, I hate cold calling.
Yeah. And work that's, I can usually schedule it, but like so how does food I get like farmer's dog for him. His food didn't get delivered to my address, even though it said it was delivered. I was like, well, I'm running low, so like I need the fucking food. Um, I don't know if you've heard of Axel Hire, like if they've delivered for you. So some companies, instead of you using like UPS or FedEx or whatever, will just hire from Axel Hire, and it's like it's just individuals driving around
Oh,
with
okay.
packages.
Okay.
Which is cool because then more just random people will just have work, and if
Yeah.
they whatever, fine. And it's just delivering packages and not like an Uber, so you guess it's just like for the people that don't want to talk to people. Um, literally, my pin is like here, my building. He delivered it to the complex across from me on the other side to another same building number. So thankfully, I think like you can see where it dropped. Like they had the pin of where it dropped, which was like 3 blocks away. So I was like, okay. And within like 5 minutes, I got in my car. I was like, well, at least like I know where it is. So I can just
Yeah.
like pick it up and like leave and like whatever.
Yeah.
Literally, I got the text that was delivered. I looked outside. It had to be at least just 5 minutes. I drive to the place. It's already inside the person's house. It's already there. I'm like, fuck. So I don't mind face to face, but I hate calls. So No one is answering the door. Like I stood there for a good 5 minutes and I was like, all right, this is getting creepy. I'm just gonna leave. And then it took me a good like half an hour to just be like, okay, I have to like call someone. Like I have to call
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they had an app. So obviously I did the whole texting route first. Like
yeah,
that, they had Zendesk. So like, I did that like slowest fucking thing. So I was like, well,
yeah.
fuck me, I guess. It's fine. Anything like if there's any texting, whatever, then I fucking called. And it was so awkward. Lo and behold, they can't do anything, but they did say that the driver clearly did not put it in front of my building. And the driver was just not responding. So it was just a shitty driver I got. Whatever, it's fine. So then I had to go call fucking Farmer's Dog. But
Oh,
thankfully, as soon as I called Farmer's Dog, they're like, do you want to text instead? If yes, say,
yes,
like press one. I was like, absolutely.
yes. Thank you. Yes.
I finally got his Farmer's Dog today. So I got rescheduled or like whatever. But I was like, I don't know what it is with millennials because I also was having a conversation with my friend last night, but we hate fucking speaking on the phone.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
just so traumatic from the days of
Yeah.
like no caller ID, just pick up the fucking phone, the landline, like all that shit. I'm just like, whereas like Kate will be like, I'd rather call. I'm like, I'd rather kill myself.
Yeah, no, yeah. If I have to call for something, like if I have to call for something, I will sweat about it and then call and be like, "Hi, I'm so sorry. My name's Ashley. I'm so sorry."
Yeah, I'm like the most pleasant. Like, I know it's not my fault. They're correcting my thing, but I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, this is so
hmm
annoying. They're like, no, it's fine. I'm like, all right,
I'm
like
sorry. Like, sorry, are you mad at me now? Because I'm sorry.
like I'm sorry that like I need you to do your job for like 5 seconds. I know this
I'm
is
so
shitty,
sorry.
but like please. I just need my
hmm
dog's food. He's like running low.
hmm
Oh my God. But I haven't tackled that in therapy yet. The phone anxiety. I just can't do it. Unless again it's work and I'm clocked in. I'm like, I have to just do this. But
Yeah.
again, I'm like high enough where I'm like, can you call?
You call. You do
You
it.
call.
Someone
You do
else.
it.
Anyone
Yeah.
else.
But yeah. But like things I don't think about, but then I'm like, oh, I do have anxiety still.
I refuse to up my dosage. So like there are certain like levels of anxiety that like I have opted to just like live with. And I only have therapy once a month for 30 minutes. And like it's really just to like discuss like, okay, like what are like the big problems? What can you do about them? What do you plan to do about them? Should we increase your medication?
You're
And
like,
the
nah.
answer is almost always yes, we should increase the medication. However, I shan't. I increased the medication for like a couple weeks and I was miserable. I'm literally on the like almost lowest dose you can be on. And I refuse to do anything higher because like there is a level of anxiety like I'm just content to live with. Like, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. The anxiety isn't what necessarily makes me codependent. I'm just kind of codependent. I grew up. I'm just codependent. So I
Period.
can be codependent
Period.
with like without a personality, or I can be codependent and fun at least, where people at least want to spend the time with me. So I've opted to remain fun and to stay just a riddled ball of anxiety. Because, like, sure, up my medication. Can I then drive somewhere for more than 7 minutes? Yeah, most definitely. But then I arrive and no one fucking wants me there because I'm like, I'm just apathetic. I'm just a walking apathy mannequin and nothing matters to me. I sincerely don't care. Because without the anxiety, I don't care about literally anything.
That is, yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. And like that's like where I'm at with antidepressants because I think I showed you my fucking what my
Yeah.
therapist like whatever like manic depression what is it MDD whatever that is depressive disorder. So I'm like,
Yep.
all right, well, it's like officially like in paper. I mean, like we all knew like it wasn't, but like just seeing it out in a spelled out manner
Mm-hmm.
is different obviously for the psyche. But of course, I've been toying around with medication because now a bunch of my friends are. Aside from you, I've heard like so many people are right now and like they're pretty content. But I'm also like, well, well, I'm also an immigrant, like from an immigrant family. So I have to get over that like stigma and just the
Yep.
stigma in general of just being on medication for mental illness, which again,
Mm-hmm.
it's less than being from an immigrant family.
Yeah.
But also I'm like, not that I'm like fun, but like I don't know if I'm gonna just be super. I do tend to be indifferent is my go-to usually anyway, but like I can't imagine being even more.
But that may be your imbalance causing you to be the indifference, and you may, on medication, find a renewed interest in things. Because on the dose that I'm on for Lexapro, love Lexapro, I'll name it. Fucking hold a sign. I'll wear a T-shirt that says I love
A lot of
Lexapro.
people
I'm
on
fun,
a lot of
bruh.
people on Lexapro.
I love Lexapro. Lexapro is great, guys. If you haven't tried it, try it.
If you didn't
Just
know.
get some aftermarket Lexapro. Find that your day functions better. But like I am on a very low dose of Lexapro, and like it literally just helps me manage the edge because I am afraid of everything. Everything makes me anxious all of the time. Any situation arises, I'm running out of milk for my coffee. Great. I'm anxious. I'm just anxious. It's just a side effect of being me and
Yeah,
having to live
truly.
my life. It's just anxiety. And like I said, like I tried a higher dose and like that's what fucked me up. Like, hey, I had no anxiety, but that's because I didn't care about anything. I tried a lower dose. I have now fucked around in the time that I've been on Lexapro with a few different dosages just to see, like, is it worth it for me? Like, does it, what has the right balance that I'm looking for? And this dose that I'm on has the balance that I'm looking for. Like, sure, in a year, will I maybe have to go up again because I'll be used to it? Maybe. But like I tried that higher dose and that's where the apathy came in. And without that higher dose, I do not have an apathy issue. There are some things that I am apathetic about, but that's mostly just because I'm a narcissistic fucking douchebag. But like in general, I'm rarely apathetic. Look at the things I surround myself with. I derive joy in almost everything. But like with the wrong dosage, nothing matters. Nothing's fun. My prescriber, who's the one who gives me the pills, was like, it doesn't make any sense that you're like more depressed and apathetic on a higher dose. You should be doing better on a higher dose. And I was like, but I'm not, and I'm not willing to wait months for it to be better. I'm not interested in that, not for nothing. I tried the dose. I bought a new house, I ended up newly engaged. I have a new puppy. Not the time to be apathetic for like an extended period of time. But
Fair.
like I am able to manage emotions that like I couldn't manage before significantly better on Lexapro. So like the likelihood that your, MDD is what's causing you to have this constant indifference it's a very high likelihood that it will be countered and balanced
Yeah.
by a medication, better, distributing all of the little, I picture little like balls.
It's just electricity in our fucking brain.
Yeah.
Um, no, I get that. But I also feel like I am counteracting my anger with indifference internally. So instead of
Mm-hmm.
getting angry, I'm just indifferent.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I mean, people that know me, I have anger management just issues. Just like it's not out and about. Like if you wouldn't know,
No.
you wouldn't know until you're like around me and like me like for a long period of time. It's just like pure anger in my brain. Um, so I have to figure that out. It probably would help being on medication, my anger.
Probably the drugs, because it'll help counteract the anger. The irrational, misplaced anger would probably be tempered by the drugs that can move things along correctly and smoothly.
Yeah,
And then you would find that you don't have as much space taken up by the anger and indifference, and like other emotions can exist in that tiny space.
yeah.
I
Well,
love drugs.
yeah, prescribed. Just don't no one take that out of context right
Fuck
now.
it, make it a clip. Who gives a shit? I don't fucking care. What do I have to lose? Not like I have a job.
um, um, yeah, I don't know. But I mean like when I haven't been angry in a while, which scares me. Which is good, obviously, for people, but then that just means like
What's going wrong? Like in your brain that's prohibiting
which
you
is
from
just
getting angry and just
which is just like also like therapy.
therapy.
Like that's why I go to therapy, to figure that shit out. Because my anger management, I mean, it's better. I don't actually. I have no idea. Is it better than before?
Mm.
Like I
Yeah,
have no
since you've
idea.
had the dog, you've had a better
Okay.
outlet for like your energy to be
Oh, okay.
expelled
Yeah.
in dealing with a dog and caretaking and having that shift in mentality and focus in your life. Like that absolutely contributes.
Yeah. So, which I'm just curtailing around it. It's better, so I'm not gonna deal with it. But therapy.
Therapy.
I don't know.
Now, listen, you knew me in my 20s. I was like super anti drugs, because I was like
Oh,
so scared.
yeah. Well, yeah.
I was so scared that I was going to lose, what I liked about me. That, like, yes, I was going to lose the things that I hated, but like, I was so terrified that I was going to lose what I actually did like about myself. So I was super anti drugs and I was like, CBT, that's it. Fucking cognitive behavioral therapy, that's it. Um, Nothing else. And then I, finally grew up in my 30s and was like, it's 10 years of trying and failing really shows that like it's probably nothing I can do on my own anymore.
Yeah, let's talk about that because like the issue that I've always had again in my 20s, even earlier, because you knew me when I was like 19. Um, it's I think with the majority of people, it's like I don't know who I'm gonna be out after I seek help. And like that's the scary part for me. I mean, me included, because I think that was like one of the things I was like, I don't want to do this. 'Cause I don't know I don't want to know who the fuck that is. But obviously, like you kind of have to try at least.
You can
Otherwise,
always stop it. Like that's the thing. These
yeah.
are not forever altering,
Like
you
you
know?
can literally stop. Like I've stopped therapy for a few months,
Mhm.
maybe almost a year, because I was like, I'm over it. Um,
I'm cured.
yeah, I'm temporarily cured, so let me just like figure this shit out by myself. And of course, like that's not. Now I know that that wasn't the answer.
Anybody unsure? That's not how it works. That's not how it ever works.
Yeah, like,
You don't
but
just get better.
yeah, without maintaining. It's different if like there are rare occasions where like people stop therapy and they like maintain it by themselves, and that's just like fine. It's doable, but like for the majority of people that are like mentally ill consistently and constantly, like that's why there are people out there to help you. But again, a lot of people don't do that, and I know a lot of people don't do that because one, it's hard to find a therapist that you like. Fine, but if you don't try, then you're not gonna know type situation. And number two, like it's like, well, I don't know who I'm gonna be after that, and like if the joy is taken out of my existence, um, 9 times out of 10, it's probably you're probably gonna be fine.
If there are things you don't like, you change them. If you find that as you are going through this process, as you are trying medications, there is not just one medication. Lexapro wasn't actually going to be the stop for me. It was just the start. I just happened to respond really well on Lexapro. I liked it and I immediately put my foot down. I was like, I'm not doing anything else. And they're like, well, we could try, we had to look at, I don't care about talking about it. I had severe anorexia for like majority of my life. And that doesn't ever get better. It's called an organic disorder. So it never heals and it never stops. It is something that you just have for the rest of your life. And like when I'm very stressed, I will find that like, you know, 8 hours will go by and I'm like, oh God, I haven't eaten. I haven't eaten anything. And it's not because I made the active choice to not eat and control that, but it's my brain's way. Like my brain knows that, like, oh, well, like when we're having a hard time, we have the ability to control this aspect. So we simply won't eat. And I won't get hungry. I won't feel hungry. Nothing. I can just ignore the need to eat for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So my first concern when they, were like, let's get you on meds, like let's look at them, they couldn't even prescribe them right away because I had to sit down with them and on my own go through every possible side effect that exists and every possible outcome and like a butt ton of different studies for what it did to people with their appetites and their weight changes. Did it cause weight gain? Did it cause rapid weight gain? Did it cause, appetite increase? Did it cause appetite decrease? Did it cause, what I had to go through all of those things for multiple different drugs. And Lexapro had nothing really conclusive. Some people mentioned weight gain, some people mentioned appetite increase, but there were people that mentioned appetite decrease, which became a big fear for me. And I don't know if you remember when I started Lexapro, I lost weight
You
pretty
lost so much
drastically.
weight. Yeah.
I lost so much weight because the introduction, my system is so delicate because I don't take any medication. Like y'all, I'm saying I don't take Advil when I have a headache.
No,
I
she
just
doesn't.
don't take anything that's not, organic and natural. And so the introduction to that drug to my system immediately wrecked everything. I was a mess. I didn't eat. I couldn't eat. I got nauseous. I couldn't sleep right. Like I was fucked up. And I was like, all right, like I had to make the decision of like, am I going to see this through or am I going to cut it prematurely? I
Mm-hmm.
chose to see it through. And now I have been 100 pounds for probably at least a month now, which like, that
Which
doesn't
is
sound like
good.
anything to normal
No,
people, but like
well, for us that means it's good. That
being a
means
5'4" anorexic, 100 pounds is huge. That's celebratory.
yeah,
Like you can't see my bones for the most part. You can't see. I have like that little pouch on your tummy now that you get as like an
good,
adult woman, where like your organs are like actually inside of you and protected. And
good.
like I have organs that you can't see anymore, and like that's all huge. And like that, it took time, and like the beginning was terrible. It was a really fucked up, rough journey. And then when I tried the increase on medication, I went right back to that really rough journey. I lost weight again. I could not sleep to save my fucking life. I couldn't sleep right. And like I said, I gave that a little bit of time, saw that I remained incredibly apathetic, came back down to the lower dosage, and now my anxiety is tempered. And I yawn all the time. That's my big walk away with Lexapro. I fucking yawn all the time. It doesn't matter if I slept 12 hours. It doesn't matter if I'm having a great time. I will simply yawn all day, every day. And like it has checks and balances. There are things
Oh
that it
yeah,
works better for, things that it doesn't.
yeah. Um, and also, no one mind me if I'm like laughing or like smirking. It's only because like I've known you for so long that it's just like your mental health journey has been such like a I don't know if it's joy is the word for me to really just no, it's very inspiring. Um, and I didn't mean to be sappy on this podcast today, but I mean like the fact that you're 100 pounds for more than even like a couple of weeks, like I've known you and you're like 80, not to like
Mm-hmm.
put that out in the world, but like I laugh about it now because I'm like, Jesus, like it feels like an eternity. Like and it's
Mm-hmm.
only been like 10 years of our lives, but like
Yep.
the ups and downs and just like now the stability that we both have, granted it's not like the best, but like we just
It's
grew
still
up.
stability.
We
Yep.
just grew up.
We're
Yeah.
adults now.
Yeah, it took turning 30 um to realize it, which I mean 20s I feel like are just chaotic in general. So
Dude,
the fact that we
yes.
got out of it, I think is just like that's why it feels like a lifetime because like we at points in our lives thought that we wouldn't see the next decade.
Your
Um
20s determine how hard you age for the rest of your
yeah.
life.
Right, because I think now like the stability helps, but again, I think again, it doesn't seem like a big thing, like weight gain and everything for many people that are like mentally stable. But like it's just like incredible. It's just absolutely
Neurotypicals are
incredible.
like, oh, you're 100 pounds. Like, that's neat. I'm like, isn't it? Right? Like, that's great. Because
Yeah.
like I'm sick, and
Yeah.
like my heart breaks for like all the, younger kids that are going through that time now. And like I only hope that like they face their struggle and continue to grow out of it, because the worst thing you can do, I mean, we make fun of people all the time when we see people in their 30s now that like have not fucking left that early 20s.
Oh yeah, they
And
peaked in high
like
school. That's the same people. It's
that's
like
the
they've
like you've got to look forward to that. You've got to work through that. As two people that thought they'd be dead before their 30s, like you have to spend that time looking to like what kind of adult you want to be.
yeah.
And fuck it, I'll put it all out on here. I've already talked about anorexia. I was a fucking alcoholic too, y'all. Like,
Yeah. No, that yeah, like that's also why like it's such a joy to see this because like even when I was like I'm like a couple years younger than her. I don't know if that's also a thing that I haven't disclosed in this podcast, but I'm younger. Um, but to be younger than you and for you to 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 go through your addictions to different things throughout the years or whatever, um, and then are now like
never hard drugs, y'all. I'm
no
just
no no
saying,
no no
never,
no that's
never
not no
hard drugs.
but I feel like with just like knowing and you know, I could be addicted to, I'm not addicted to anything like drugs or alcohol or anything or like smoking or anything, but like just having like other minor addictions of like retail therapy and like other stuff, like at least now you know like your limits. Like I feel like when we were younger, it was just like the wild, wild west for the both of us, and I didn't know any better. I was like, she's just living her life. I don't know the fuck she's doing. Like whatever. But then in hindsight, I'm like, how the fuck did we even survive?
Dude,
You know?
dude,
Yeah,
dude.
like because even when I mean, again, I'm not addicted to anything like hard, but addictions, I feel like there's like once you're done with one, you latch onto another thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now we know that limit more than
Yep.
when we were like 19, 20, 21,
Oh yeah.
whatever.
Oh fuck yeah.
But
20s, you just trade an addiction for an addiction. You just
yeah,
keep swapping them out
whatever.
till you find one. Some are healthier than others, and some are more manageable than
Hmm.
others. But you just trade anything can be an addiction. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And um while you're talking about like uh people or us not seeing the next decade, pretty much like we were just gonna like off ourselves at some point. So any of my family that's listening, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
But it's also not a secret. So um
I was gonna say my whole family knows that. Like I'm like, wow, I'm in my 30s. That's crazy.
yeah,
I
and
said to my
like
mom the other day, I was like, I'll never pay off this house. I'll die first. I'm just gonna die first. She was like, stop. I thought we were past that. I was like, I didn't say I was gonna do it. I'm just probably gonna die. The world's a terrible place right now. Like I don't have
right,
any expectations to be in my 50s. Like
right.
I'm just gonna die because there's nothing that's gonna happen that's good.
Right. So for someone that hasn't, and we've had this conversation before, for someone for me not like not looking forward into the next decade now. Like when I was younger, I was like, oh yeah, like maybe I have my 5 year plan, but never like a next decade like plan.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's weird because now I'm like, I'm in this for the long run.
Dude,
Like
dude,
and
literally.
and now that like it's such a weird psyche to be in because when I was like when we were 20 in our 20s, like relationships, friendships were like what kept me going. And now that like I'm in my 30s, it still is, but it's a different function now. And I've been in like the grieving phase of that for the past like few months, which is what I am also going to therapy for. Because like when you weren't looking forward into the future, into your future, into like being and existing, you are living for like the day, right? Like you're living for whatever works and survives for your day. But then when everything changes and now you're looking forward and then you see everything changing around you finally, you're just like in a hellhole. Like you're just absolutely you don't know what to do. So I am not saying it's easy, obviously. And he's going to sleep.
I love watching him. I'm like watching him.
Yeah. Um, but also that's like the side effect of like getting better is like finding now that like whatever you have lived for is now different and how to not correct that, but like translate it to something else is also like the biggest struggle because now it's just like, all right, priorities have changed everywhere. Where can you fit yourself in wherever? But now that I'm in it for the long run, fingers crossed, if nothing mentally, if I don't have another like big breakdown somewhere.
And
um
even if you do, you'll work through it. You'll
I
find what
mean, one would hope.
led
Yes.
to it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, one would hope also like with mental illness, like yes, we are better. I am better. I'm like, dealing it with the best I can, but like you never know. I'm not saying I would. I'm not saying I would, but like you never know. I'm not like holding out for
I
that.
think a thing that's important for especially like mentally ill people to like the extent that we're ill, um, talking about sewer slide. Um, it's
I just call
honestly
it
it's
ideation.
important for
Yeah.
ideation.
Yeah,
It's
the
honestly it's
ideation.
important for us because like
Yeah.
it is something that dominated so much mental space for such a long time because we were, for as unwell as we are now, we were significantly worse when we were younger.
Jesus
And I think
Christ.
all of the like therapy teachings that tell you like, oh, like you can't make those jokes, you can't talk about it. And like
I
for a
don't
couple
subscribe to
years,
that.
like on and off, tried that. And I was like, all right, like maybe I'll try not to like make those jokes and like try not to think about that. Like that is not a one size fits all. sometimes like knowing, because like I'll speak, like I said, for myself, and like I don't mind putting everything on the table when it comes to like mental health. I feel like I've been like a big like all on the
Yeah,
table advocate for like a long time of my life,
yeah,
where
yeah,
I'm
for
just
sure.
like, fuck yeah, like here's all my problems, here's shit that I've done and wanted to do. Because like I don't care, like if it's embarrassing for me, I'm not the only person that ever had that thought. I'm not the only person that ever went through that. And if like one person can like hear what I'm saying and be like, oh, like okay, like maybe it can be like okay that like I thought about this or tried this or like whatever. But like it's not a one size fits all of like, well, you can't talk about that, you can't joke about that, you can't think about that. And it's like, well, when you suffer from depression, anxiety, who are, big parts of it is intrusive thought, that shit pops up all of the fucking time. All of the time. Over like sometimes real shit, but like a lot of times over like fucking inconveniences because like you never expected to be here still.
And
And you never expected to
yeah,
face this inconvenience. So it's like, well, I could just kill myself and like then that wouldn't be a problem anymore.
yeah, like uh and like it could just be, I tell my therapist all the time, I'm like, my brain just goes, I could be just watching TV. I could just be like washing dishes. I could just be like playing my dog and I'd be like, you know what would be great right now? Not to be here. And that's just like mental illness.
You know what
Like
we
that's
should
just
do
like
today?
go into my car, drive into traffic, like into traffic, and then we would be done. But I also know now that I don't want that. Like, like that, and that in itself is like me combating those intrusive thoughts, which younger me would have been like, all right, let's take a drive. Let's just see what happens. Like, but I mean, again, it's a daily in and out struggle thing that, I
You know what
mean,
I'm not ashamed to admit? Being
mm,
a people pleaser is what has saved my life because at times my brains were like, you should
oh
just
well,
totally like drive and try. I'm like, oh my God, that'll like totally mess up like their day in their life. And like,
oh,
what if like they lose their license and like they can't drive anymore? Like, how are they gonna have a job?
I
Like
thought you were
people
going.
pleaser overrode.
I thought you were saying, because then my thing is like the people that know me, I would feel bad for. That's where my people pleasing
Oh,
comes in, where it's like, well, I don't want them to deal with the aftermath of
everyone
me
would be
like
miserable if
leaving.
I died. So like
Right. Yeah.
that doesn't have to combat. My brain's like, well, yeah, like
Well,
they'll be sad
obviously.
and their lives will never be the same. Like sucks to
Yeah.
be them, but you don't have to deal with it. It's not really your problem anymore.
But then that's where my brain overrides it, where it's like, oh, if this actually happened, like everyone's lives that I affect, not to like toot my own horn, but like, my situation, it's just like, well,
And like
you
not even because of what you contribute physically and monetarily, like whatever, like
yeah.
just because of what your existence contributes. The
Right.
contribution of you being a person would like being removed would upend, you know,
A lot
so
of
many lives.
things, a lot of things. Um, which I'm grateful for, which I don't think about obviously, but like when the moments where it is bad, I'm like, oh, wait. Like there is some impact around my community that I've built that could detrimentally just fuck up a lot of lives. And you the same. I'm not saying I'm the only one in the situation, but like it's
Oh,
the
I would
same.
like I would royally fucking destroy at least like 6 people's lives. And I'd orphan my children. I could never. Not my precious boys.
Right, right. Like
I
I
understand they have a dad and he could be a single parent, but remove me from the context and they're simply orphaned.
but right, like yeah, it would just be like detrimental,
Paz will get
which
adopted. He's really cute. Tucker, nobody's gonna want Tucker. Nobody's gonna want him.
um uh, I think a lot of the younger, and I'm not saying because they're younger that they don't know better, but it's also just like your brain isn't fully formed until you're 25. So it's really hard when you
That's why
hear,
everything feels like it gets worse at 25 and 27
yeah,
because your brain has like finally like
it's clicked.
settled into what it is.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's and like science is so fucking real, y'all. Like science is absolutely real. Whoever's telling you science is not real is like fake.
The earth is flat and science is real.
Right. Right. It's not flat. Um
We've discussed this before.
yeah, we've done that
It's
podcast.
not a
Like we
snow
can,
globe.
no, there's no like
Throwback.
fucking, yeah, I don't know what episode. But yeah, so twice 25 to 20, I don't say 8 for me was just
Mm-hmm.
absolute shit. I could not.
Mm-hmm.
It was such brain fog and just like absolutely just like could not get out of that fucking forest. And then all of a sudden one day I was like, oh, it wasn't ever
Uh-huh.
that serious. Like life was never that serious. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy how humanity is and the brain and everything and how the fuck we know nothing about the brain is crazy. Like it just happens. It happens to everyone, but again, it's so sad when it's like younger people because like it's like they could
Honestly,
have
it breaks my heart all of
yeah,
the time thinking about
how
like,
many lives. Yeah.
kids are going through shit and like, look, there was the big wave of like the it gets better for, gay kids when we were younger. And it's like just like legitimately like it does. Like you form your family. Like the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Like you will find your family. It doesn't need to be who you're surrounded by today. It doesn't need to be who you're surrounded by in 5 years. It doesn't need like you will find your family. You will choose them and like they will fit right when you have made the correct choice. And part of that journey needs to focus. Like you go to the doctor for all of your life for physical anomalies. You have to do the same for inside your noggin. Like you have to, because like you are just simply not equipped to deal with the things that you think don't matter in your head. And like you're just not equipped to deal with it and realize that like it does matter. It does play a day-to-day effect on you.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you need medication, it is not a one-shot try. It can take time.
You should
And
find the right
like,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
you just
Well,
gotta keep trying it.
truly the universe is so fucking weird. I mean, I go back to this all the time with especially with you. Like it's just like I've known you, but we didn't actually like the universe is so fucking weird with timing. But we weren't friends within the 3 years that we've known of each other. Like it's like the craziest thing. So like it is really just time and the right timing because people just like all of a sudden just pop up even though you've known of them for like ever. And then now is the time. Like
Yep.
that moment was the time. Because
Yep.
otherwise, any later, any earlier, it would just
Any earlier, any later, we would not have fit. And instead, it was the right time and we fit. You will
yeah,
find who
you'll just
fits.
find
You will
people.
find who is right for you.
Yeah, and it could be just people that you haven't talked to in forever, and all of a sudden the universe is like, all
Mm-hmm.
right, it's time now. Like you guys can
Yeah,
do
here
it
you
now.
go.
Here you go.
Yep.
Because so many friends all of a sudden after college that we got back together, I was like, oh, now is the time again. It's
Mm-hmm.
just ins and
And
outs.
especially because, like, don't punish yourself for who you were when you were a child because, like, I don't care. 18's legal. Like, you're a child. And, like, you have to work through so much. And, like, you were learning to be who you were in the positions that you were placed in. You didn't get to choose any of that. That was so beautiful. You didn't get to choose any of the spaces that you filled at that age and who you were, and you were trying to figure out how to deal with anything and everything that happened to you, and that your brain was throwing at you on its own. Your brain was like, everybody hates you. And it's like, no, you're just sick and need therapy. But like don't punish yourself for who you were when you were 17 and don't write off who was in your life and who was or was not in your circle or in your orbit at 17. You will be a different person at 22 and you will be a different person at 29 and you'll be a different person at 33. I haven't even gotten there yet, so I don't know. I could be a fucking bitch again at 33. Who knows?
Who
I like to
knows?
think not, because I've
I
tried really hard.
well, yeah, you're trying really hard, so I highly doubt it. But even if you got back to that, I wouldn't.
I have too much
Don't judge me
anxiety to be a
here.
bitch anymore.
I know, yeah. Whereas I could not give a fuck. Oh my God. Okay, well, that was like an hour, so
Therapy. We
y'all.
are big mental health advocates because we know what it's like to have been like fucked up and like still be fucked up and to be trying all the time to like be marginally less fucked up. So
Not to plug my other podcast, but we literally just were talking about last episode, like maintaining and the struggle of just maintaining our semblance of just anything and just turning 30 and everything. And it is just a daily reminder to just keep going. It's just like just keep going. Like it'll somehow get better. It'll get worse at
if
points.
today sucks, go to bed at 8 p.m.
Try again tomorrow. I don't know what to
Yep.
tell you. Or just write it out until because I'm an insomniac, so like just write it out.
I'm not. I could sleep. Then my my toxic trait is I could sleep for 12 hours if I'm having a bad day. I'll just go to bed and I'll just stay there. That's fine.
I got 8 last night. Because I tire myself out.
Smart.
Like I do a lot to tire myself out. But again, to whatever point this is, like just either write it out or just go to sleep. It's not that serious.
It's not that serious.
It's not that serious. I mean, there are points where things are serious, I'm sure for many. I don't know anyone's lives, but like it'll pass. It'll pass. And on that note, I'm done.
On that note, go to therapy.
Go to therapy.
If you haven't gone to therapy, go. If you've been considering going to therapy, go. If you think therapy's a fucking crock, go to therapy.
Yeah, those are people that need it the most for the most part. Well, if you need a therapist,
like,
go
subscribe, follow stuff. We do
follow shit.
gameplays, we do podcasts. We usually switch them up, but for sometimes we don't. So follow and find out. I don't fucking know. I'm not in charge of these. Bye.
No, bye. I'm done. You did it for me. Our Instagrams are on the end screen. That's it. Bye.